Hey guys, I'm gonna help just explain the problem solver for today. I know a lot of you are doing a really good job on it, but I'm gonna post this at the end of the day for anybody who maybe still has questions, okay? So the first thing we always do is write cubes on the side or the top. So let's read this together. Miss Budnick is doing inventory and needs to figure out how many books are in each section of the library. She calculated a total of 856 picture books, and there are 8 bookcases. How many books are on each bookcase if there is the same amount of books on each one? So for C, we're going to circle quantities, and we're not going to just circle 856, but we're going to circle 856 picture books, including our units here. We're going to circle 8 bookcases, not just the number 8, okay? So that's our C. Underline the questions. So the question is, how many books are on each bookcase if there is the same amount of books on each one? So down below, I'm going to say each bookcase has blank books. Always write your sentence out first, because sometimes there's just so many steps that you lose track of what you're even solving for, okay? So we underline our question and we wrote the beginning of our answer, okay? B, box keywords. A really big keyword for this problem is that each book has the same amount of books, okay? That's really important here. We want to make sure that we understand that we're taking our total number of books, our 856 books, and we're distributing them into 8 bookcases, and each bookcase has to have the same amount, okay? So we boxed a keyword. Now we're going to evaluate and draw. Now, just like the last video I posted, whenever we have a quantity of something that we're distributing out into groups, that means you're going to be dividing. We have 856 and we're going to be distributing it amongst 8 different bookcases. So we're going to be dividing it. So a good visual for you guys is we have 856 books and we're breaking it up like that, right? These are all our bookcases. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so we're taking our one quantity, we're breaking it up. Whenever you're doing that, that operation is division. Okay, I'm going to use partial quotients for our division here. I know that it's a strategy a lot of you are comfortable with. It's a really great one that I like to encourage students to use if they don't feel super confident in division right away, because you're really just multiplying your way through division. Okay, so we're going to take 856 divided by 8, okay? Now, sometimes these bigger numbers can feel a little daunting, but think of it as, okay, 8 times what gets me close to 800? What gets me close to 800? And I know that 100 times 8 will give me 800. So that will take this number down quite significantly. Oops, 800. Okay, so 6 minus 0 is 6, 5 minus 0 is 5, and 8 minus 8 is 0. So now, can I multiply 8 by something to get me close to 56? And yes, actually, 8 times 7 is 56. That was really easy, just 2 steps. Okay, and then your answer is these two added together. Those are your quotients. Quotient is an answer to a division problem, just like a product is the answer to a multiplication problem. So here you would just do 100 plus 7. And so that means that each bookcase has 107 books. Okay? So that's the problem solver. Now for the fast finisher. I'm going to read the problem and we're going to do the same thing again. We're going to do cubes again, just like before. Her next task was to figure out how many nonfiction books she had and counted 1,836 books. She needed to make sure she put an equal amount of books on each of the 6 bookcases. How many books did she place on each bookcase? How many more books are on each bookcase in the nonfiction section Then the Everybody Picture Book section. This is the Everybody Picture Book section. See picture books. Okay. So again, we're gonna do cubes. Our first quantity here is 1,836 books. Circling the word books as well, and 6 bookcases. So similar problem over here. We have our quantity of books. We have our bookcases that we're going to be dividing these books among. Okay, so C is done. U. Now we have a couple questions we're answering here. The first one is, how many books did she place on each bookcase? So the first question we can answer is, she placed blank books on each bookcase. Okay. Second question is, how many more books are in each bookcase in the nonfiction section than the picture book section? So we could say there are blank more books in the nonfiction section. And see how I'm really just writing the same question down? I'm just basically copying the same thing from, instead of writing how many, I'm saying there are. And then I'm just repeating the same sentence here. More books in the nonfiction section than the picture book section. Okay? All right, so I'm gonna be solving for 2 different things here. So the first thing I'm gonna solve for, just like up here, I'm taking our books and we're gonna divide them amongst a bookcase, okay? So I'm gonna do big 7 or partial quotients again. I'm gonna take 1, 8, 3, 6, divided by 6. Oh, and forgot to cross these off. Oh, our keywords here, sorry guys. Let me go back. Equal amount, again, is our boxed keyword. And now we're evaluating and draw. Okay. So for this one, I'm also gonna kind of do what I did up here, and I'm gonna think of the quickest way I can get this number down to 0. So I know that 6 times 3 would give me 18. And since this is actually 1,800, I'm gonna do 6 times 300. And I'm gonna get 1,800. That brings this number down quite significantly again. Okay, so 6, 3, 0, 0, okay? And now 6 times 6 is 36. And so that's down to 0. And so again, our quotient here is these 2 numbers added together. So 306 is the answer. Okay? So she placed 306 books on each bookcase, okay? So that's the first part of our question here. So now they're saying, okay, so Miss Budnick has some picture books, and she has 8 bookcases, and each one has 107 books, and she has some nonfiction books. She has 6 bookcases of those, and each bookcase has 306 books. So I'll kind of draw it out for you. So she has picture books. Okay, she has some shelves of picture books, and it says she has 856 books on 8 different bookcases. So you could do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And each of those has 107 books. Okay, so she has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 picture bookcases, and each bookcase has 107 books, okay? So she has this in the library, and she also has a whole nother section of books, nonfiction books. And she has 306 of them on 6 different bookcases. So she has nonfiction books, 6 bookcases that each have 306 books. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 bookcases and each one has 306. Okay, so now the last question we have here is how many more books are in the nonfiction section than the picture book section? So how many more do we have here than we have here? And don't let it trick you that we have more bookcases here than we do here, because look, each of these, even though there's only 6 bookcases here, each bookcase holds more books, right? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 bookcases, but only 107 on each one. And here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bookcases, but 306 on each one. So their question now is, how many more books do we have here than we have here? Okay? So what you're gonna do for that, and it says how many bookcases are on each bookcase? How many more are on each? So they're not asking how many total more do we have here than how many total more we have here. This would actually be another good keyword. How many more are on each bookcase? Each specific bookcase, okay? So what they're saying is, how many more do we have on this one than do we have on this one, okay? So I'm gonna take 306 and I'm gonna subtract it from 107. Okay? Now I can't subtract 7 from 6, so I'm gonna borrow and borrow. I can't borrow from here, I can't take 10 from here and move it over because it's a 0. So I'm gonna borrow from here, this becomes a 2, then that becomes a 10, and now I can borrow from it, so now that will become a 9, and this will become a 16. Okay? 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 9. Bring this 9 down, because there's nothing we're subtracting it from. And then 2 minus 1 is 1. So this means that on this bookshelf here, because we basically just subtracted this bookshelf from that bookshelf. So this means that on this bookshelf here, we have 199 more books than we have on this bookshelf right here, okay? All right, I hope this was helpful. If you need anything else from me, you guys can leave me notes in the comments. If you're my kiddos right now during distance learning, you can give me a call, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks, bye.